Hi guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to talk about the massive update for this new season. So all of the heroes in this game got their own buffs and nerfs balance update, and yes, like I said, all of the heroes, which means that the game is more like a brand new game again. Like you need to learn a lot of things again for this new season. Now first, let's talk about the Clash Laner. A lot of heroes in the Clash Lane got a significant buffs on their sustain, dueling, and their teamfight capability. So you actually have a lot of options in the Clash Lane now, since you can now either heavily focus on building damage and destroy the backline of your enemies. You also have more bonuses if you build those heroes with HP or any defense items that gives you HP. So they are now more flexible in terms of playstyle in building their own items, since they are now more significant role in terms of diversitying the map, stalling the game, and even their teamfight capabilities. This is a really good change for class lane heroes, so that they don't heavily focus on just one item build, but you can also get more rewards when you build some defense items. Next is the mid lane. So the mid lane heroes in this new season is now heavily focuses on scaling, so there will be probably less aggression in the early game part, since most of the heroes got nerfs on their crowd control abilities, and also with their core items like frozen breath got nerfed in the early game. But when it comes to mid to late game part, they are now somewhat stronger, since most of the mage heroes now scales with levels and also with items. So the stats in the early game is now irrelevant, since you just need more time in order for them to become online. Next is the jungle role. So in the new update, the junglers are now more flexible in terms of early aggression and heroes that require stalling, thanks to the new map update. So if your hero requires stalling time in order for you to become online, you don't have to worry on getting invade that much, since you will still get your level 4 even if they try to get some of your camps. And we all know that heroes that requires a lot of time during the early game is just easy to get behind when someone tries to invade. But in this new map update, it gives you more room for your hero to grow stronger. And if your heroes doesn't need that much time in the early game, then the early aggression is also there, since they can just easily get their level 4 faster and just rotate around the map and get some potential kills. So this new map update is very flexible for those heroes that requires time in the early game, and for those heroes that need some early aggression. Moving along in the farm lane. So the farm lane is now probably much healthier, since the early game aggression in the mid lane is now somewhat lowered, and you don't have to worry that much on getting ganked that often. The only thing that you have to take a look at is your enemy jungler, if they are playing an aggressive hero or not. You can now actually scale even better in the early game than before. But of course, you still have to worry about heroes like Mai Shiranui, who is insanely aggressive in the early game part. So this is a really good change, since we all know that marksman in general is a very toxic role. Like you can just easily get one shot during the early game with those early aggression. But now you can pretty much become more safe in this new season update. Unless you are always overextended, then you are going to be an easy target. And finally, let's talk about the roamer. So roamer in general is now heavily focuses on sustain, scaling, and crowd control efficiency. Like you have more ways to sustain, and their scaling part gives you more room to save your teammates or engaging the team fights, while gaining more efficiency in their crowd control skills for a better performance. These new changes is really good for roamers, especially if you are the type of players who always want to save your teammates or engage in team fights. So overall, this new massive Season 9 update is really going to be more full of surprises, since we still haven't got those revamps and reworks of those heroes that I mentioned in my other video. In this season, you really need to somehow elevate your gameplay, otherwise you are pretty much going to have a hard time surviving in this new season. Especially those over aggression and feeders are pretty much going to have a hard time ranking up. And that is pretty much it for this new massive Season 9 update. What are your thoughts about the changes for all of the heroes? Are you somewhat happy or disappointed? Comment down below, and I will see you in the next video.
slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
Your use to me
An
is the
enemy
only
has been
measure of
slain. Killing spree. Killing spree.
You will not reproach me longer.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain. Rampage.
Enjoy the moment. It might just be your last.
An enemy has been slain.
タワーが破壊されました。 タワーを破壊しました。
Shut down.
It'll be a bloodbath.
オーバーロード、タイラント強化。戦車が出撃します。 攻撃。
An ally has been slain. Unstoppable. Double kill.
素晴らしい。感動した。
Your use to me is the only measure of worth.
Unstoppable. Your team has destroyed a turret.
それが限界？ 敵が倒されました。
Your
物質と自然